This week on LandLeader Television.
Hi, I'm Katie Van Slyke, and welcome to LandLeader Television. This week, it's all about the West, with stops in Wyoming, California, and Oregon. First stop is the North Whiskey Ranch, with the best brokers in the Northwest, land and wildlife. Next, we head out with California Outdoor Properties to see the Spring Creek Ranch. And finally, we join Hayden Outdoors at the Bighorn Mountain Ranch.
We are the leaders of the land. Land is what we live on. It can be explored, built upon, and cultivated. Land holds our wildlife, crops and livestock, and the homes in which we live. It provides a resource for your family. It's what our forefathers settled and our brave fight to protect. It asks that you respect it, keep it free, and put back what you have taken. At times, it's purchased, sold, and traded, and it's passed on from generation to generation. So it's our duty as land brokers to be champions of conservation, habitat management, and ownership. We possess a deep love for our land and respect for all it provides. We are LandLeader.
This segment is brought to you by Land and Wildlife.
When we first bought the place, of course, there was nothing up here at all. It was just... I hear that every morning at 4 o'clock. My name is Galen William. There's not too many Galens around in the country, and I've been the owner of this property for 21 years. The name of this property is the Shell Natural Resource Area, or some people call it the North Fork of Whiskey Creek Ranch. I previously spent 28 years with the Forest Service. That's where I got my background in timber. So when I came onto this property, I decided that I was going to try to maximize the production of the timber. It had been owned privately by an elderly couple I happened to be working for too at the time, and he mentioned he'd like to sell it, and I said, I think I'd like to buy it. It was probably one of the best examples of the worst forestry you've ever seen. They just come along and nibbled here and there and took out some big trees and left all the little scrubby trees. Once I got started on it, why, everything just kind of fell into place. We've taken off probably 10 million feet off of this property, which is a lot. I estimate there's 5 or 6 million feet still remaining on the property. This is pretty much dug for ponderosa pine here on the south slope, but you get over on the other side, overlooking the meadow there, that's a completely different timber type there. Lots of lodgepole, white fir. It's a really good site. It's deep soils. We get a lot of moisture up here in the spring. When we first purchased the place, there was no improvements on it at all as far as buildings. We operated on it for a year and a half or so, and then we decided we need a cabin up here so that we can stay on during the week. All of the timber used in both the buildings, we cut the sawmill down here. So the sawmill pretty much sits empty now. The game is all variety. They got turkeys and white-tailed deer and mule deer. The most interesting thing is the elk. I heard of Land and Wildlife from a friend. I was very interested in it because I've dealt with the local real estate people for the last 5 or 6 years without, I think we've had one person come up. They don't have the outreach that Land and Wildlife has. Got in touch with Caleb. I was impressed with the sincerity and the honesty that they project.
I'm Caleb Howard. This property is a very unique property. It's going to be a unique investment. There's not much like it. This one, it's special. It's a 1,880 acre, primarily forested property north of Wallowa, Oregon, northeast Wallowa, Oregon. It's got a cabin. It's 1,104 square feet, wood shed, and a couple other outbuildings, all of which were made from lumber milled on this property. There's lots to do off the property as well. 50 minutes away from Joseph, Oregon, which is a very happening place. In the summer months especially, almost every weekend there's an event going on. Car shows, rodeos, music festivals, concerts. There's always something to do off this ranch.
It's a pretty exciting thing to do, to come into a piece like this, and when there was so much opportunity to make it better. I've been here for 21 years and I'm now 80, so it's time to think of something else. I'm going to regret selling it, but hopefully somebody will come along that has basically the same philosophy that I do.
This portion of the show was brought to you by participating farm credit locations.
It's about people far and wide, from coast to coast. The farmers, the ranchers, their cattle and crops, weekends in the woods, blueberries, peaches, a fishing pole, and your grandpa's rifle. Best friends, the love of your life, our children. It's about making this real. We've been financing your life for more than a century. We're Farm Credit. We're here to help you grow.
Looking to sell your ranch or farm? Visit LandLeader.com to learn about our exclusive network of the best farm and ranch brokers across the country. LandLeader member brokers are the leaders in their areas, representing the finest properties and providing their clients with the most property marketing in the nation. From ranches and farms to sporting properties and vacant land, we're the largest land marketing company in America. Give us a call or visit LandLeader.com today. LandLeader Television is brought to you by LandLeader, exclusive properties worldwide. Gunworks, 1,400 yards right out of the box. Cinch jeans and shirts, lead, don't follow. Banded, just go. And by participating farm credit locations.
Hello, I'm Casey Gunnels with Farm Credit in Northwest Florida. Perhaps you've heard of a 1031 exchange, but you aren't sure how it works. Simply, it's a swap of one business or investment asset for another. Many times clients use this method to purchase land, whether it be a hunting tract or a farm that they can make into a weekend retreat. It's important to talk to a professional before making any decision to use a 1031 exchange. But when you're ready, Farm Credit is here to help you customize financial solutions that are perfect for you. Again, I'm Casey Gunnels with Farm Credit Northwest Florida, and that's your Farm Credit Land Tip.
This segment is brought to you by California Outdoor Properties.
Give us a call when you can.
Spring Creek Ranch is a hunting and fishing mecca that you'll have to see to believe. Let's join California Outdoor Properties to see this sportsman's paradise.
We're headed today to Spring Creek Ranch. It's 1,074 acres. And I'm real excited for you, Marty, to meet John Watson. He's a fishing guide, been coming up here for years. He's kind of known for being a great teacher.
Well, that'll be good.
That'll be fun, huh?
That'll be a lot of fun.
You also meet the ranch manager, Ryan.
I'm excited to try some fly fishing. I hope he's patient with me.
He will be.
I'm Ryan Collins. I have been coming out here for the last at least 20 years. A family friend of ours owned the property, and my mom ran the place as a fly lodge for a while. They used to run this property as a horse ranch. Just being out there having fun. I mean, if you love being in nature, this is definitely the place to be. I mean, you can totally disconnect out here. There's so many different areas here, and you can go a few hundred yards and it's like being on a totally different piece of land. There's plenty of water all season long, all year long, because the majority of it does originate from springs right on this property. The hunting up here is probably the best around California. It's X3A hunting zone. It's such a high success rate to actually fill your tag. You have antelope and elk. We've seen tons of everything on this property. Quality fishing. Fishing is private stream, so you're pretty much guaranteed not to see anybody else. Fishing today was definitely a blast. It was the first time I had met Todd and Marty, even though I've heard their names and heard different stories about them for the last 20 years. And it was kind of like old times where we would have people come out and just teaching them how to fish. And I just kind of stood back and watched. It was like the magic happening again.
Walk softly now. We're gonna try and sneak up on these guys a little bit. There's a nice big deep slot right through here. This looks like really good water. I'll go ahead and get this off for you. Very nice. So try and keep tension on there. That's good. There it is. There's no, that was a bigger one.
Yeah.
We're getting a nice natural drift. Moving at the same speed as the bubbles we see. Oh! Rise it up. Look at your target. Good. Maybe we should move to the next spot?
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the food is being funneled right down that middle slot, so maybe something sitting in the bottom there. Yeah. There you go. Good angle. Yeah, let's go ahead and just flip it right up in there. Nice. That was a great roll cast. There you go. That's a fish. There you go. Ah! Okay, let him go if he wants to, but keep that tension on the fly. That's a real good one. Come here, buddy. I'm gonna take the hook out if you're nice. There we go.
Nice.
Okay, there he goes. Great job. Where's the next one?
Hi, I'm Todd Renfrew from California Outdoor Properties. We're here at the Spring Creek Ranch. It's an amazing property with almost 4 miles of a private wild trout stream. You are fishing out there, and it's so nice to be private and not have other people coming in. It's somewhere that you'll never forget. My wife and I really enjoyed meeting John and working with him.
Hi, I'm Marty Renfrew. I'm Todd's wife, and we own California Outdoor Properties. We tried a little fly fishing today. It was great. I caught one. I hooked a lot. I caught one rainbow. John, the guide, was great, teaching me a lot about fly fishing. The creek going through the canyon, it was beautiful. Well, fishing was fun. I did catch the biggest fish of the day. I had a great time.
The little TLC, this ranch could be tip-top shape, and you could run it as a fishing lodge or a private hunting property.
This portion of the show was brought to you by Cinch Jeans and Shirts, Lead, Don't Follow, and by Gunworks, 1,400 yards right out of the box.
The Climber, a new ultralight design by Gunworks. The Climber is the pinnacle of lightweight, long-range design. Design yours at gunworks.com.
Check out the Highlander pattern, available at cryptech.com.
Welcome to the Middle Fork Ranch. Over 3,000 acres of high mountain meadows, meandering river bottoms, and amazing vistas of Colorado's Rocky Mountains. This historic ranch is now for sale and includes 7 miles of world-class gold medal fishing on the South Platte River, Cattle grazing ranch land, diverse hunting for big game, and convenient location just 2 hours from Denver near the town of Fairplay. Contact Dax Hayden today or learn more at HaydenOutdoors.com.
This segment is brought to you by Hayden Outdoors.
Bighorn Mountain Ranch is one of the most majestic and awe-inspiring properties on the market today. Let's join Hayden Outdoors to find out why.
My name is Dave Flitner, and this is my wife, Paula Flitner. We are at the Bald Ridge Lodge on the Bighorn Mountains, about 40 miles east of Grable. And we're in the midst of some of the Flitner Ranch property, which consists of 7,000 plus acres of private land, plus another 15,000 acres of federal leases. I was born and raised in the Grable Shell area.
The family has been in the ranch business since 1906.
My granddad, Arthur Flitner, started the ranch.
And you were born and raised here?
Yes, I was born and raised here, so I'm the third generation. There are 2 more generations on the ranch. We run cattle, and we do a farming operation in the Shell Valley, raise a variety of crops such as alfalfa, hay, and beans, and corn, and various grains, and malt barley, and so on. And we have a feedlot in the bottom that'll hold about 1,000 head or so. We also have a registered quarter horse operation. They sell trained cow horses to various people around the West. This facility here was originally organized and created for a guest operation that we had for many years. It was utilized for the guests that would come up and spend a couple nights here with their horses and a cook and all that.
Now it's mainly a private residence.
And now it's really more of a private residence, as Paula says. One of the great advantages of this area, there is a geological formation that it goes along this entire segment of the Bighorns, and there's outcroppings of pure water in every one of them, and we have 4 or 5 of them on this ranch, which is a tremendous boon to the livestock operation. The water is as pure as you can possibly get, so it's wonderful for both drinking for humans and also livestock. Over the years, we have utilized these springs and developed the small reservoirs at these various sites. We've seen an increase in the wildlife population tremendously over the years because of the water development. About 15 years ago, we created a water line from a very good spring. It branches into several particular pastures, and it probably extends at least 20 miles long. It has brought water to areas that previously did not have any water, were underutilized. So we've been able to distribute the livestock as well as the wildlife into areas where there is forage, but there hasn't been water. My grandfather was adamant in his beliefs, and he wasn't a drinker, and the water is so good at the Bald Ridge cabin that once in a while they'd have hunting parties up there and they'd want to drink a whiskey. And my grandfather would always tell him, he said, I don't know why anybody would want to drink whiskey. This is the best water on the Bighorn Mountains, and it is.
The Shell Creek is a very good fishing area.
The one thing that should be probably mentioned with regard to wildlife, especially the elk, you know, before we did what we did, there was no place for them to hide. They now have a sanctuary, which they never had before. It's extremely unique in that it has numerous canyons that are natural habitat and hiding places for all kinds of wildlife, especially deer and elk. And the hunting was unbelievable. It's normal for us to have 100% success rate. Hunting is done extremely carefully so that the wildlife do not even know they're being hunted. The elk here feel like this is a sanctuary, which it is. They can calve and they can go through the rut here, which they do, and it's the most amazing thing to see. The fighting and the bugling and the cows and all that, it's unbelievable. Greg broke down coming up. He had to walk up there, and he passed through 100 head of bulls. And he
was awake all night.
And he couldn't sleep all night long. They were crashing and thrashing and bugling, and the cows were bellowing all night long.
This portion of the show was brought to you by LandLeader, exclusive properties worldwide. Are you experienced in farming, ranching, or recreational properties? Do you have a passion for the outdoors? Are you seeking a profession in real estate and land sales? If so, LandLeader is growing our team of real estate brokers and agent members across the country. We offer a strong network, excellent property marketing support, real estate training, and national affiliation of land brokerages that is second to none. For more information on becoming a member of LandLeader, visit us at LandLeader.com.
Here at Swarovski Optic, a lot of time is spent on perfecting a few great things until every idea we touch enhances every moment in the field. For a quarter century, the Swarovski Optic SLC has been making hunters' dreams become reality. Feel the wilderness every time you step outside.
This segment is brought to you by Hayden Outdoors.
A lot of people think driving cows is a pretty romantic experience, but I started it when I was 5 years old. The cattle roundup started at 4 in the morning on your horse, so you have to get up at 2:30 or 3 o'clock, wrangle the horses, somebody starts cooking breakfast, and you have to be on horseback when it's first light. And we camped out in the hills at that time because it was before four-wheel drives. We'd ride horses out there and set up camp. And it ended at dark. And that was usually in June when we were cattle, and that was almost 10 o'clock. You got to drive cattle when it's cool. It takes a lot of saddle horse time to cover that much country. In those days, there were no fences whatsoever. So we gathered cattle all the way from Shell to Hyattville to Basin and Grable in these hills surrounding us. So it was quite an effort. The grass in this area is extremely productive, and there's about 15 to 20 inches of rainfall here. The carrying capacity is excellent for this type of elevation. And what we normally do is we gather the cattle in the Bureau of Land Management lands in the bottom around 4,000 feet. And we gradually go up as the grass greens up. We keep going higher and higher until we eventually end up on the Forest Reserve at about 10,000 feet. And then in October, we start the cattle down the same path. They come back from the forest permits down to the private land, and then gradually around the latter part of October, 1st of November, they go off the mountain back into the hill country and to the farm ground where there's forage and so forth from the crops. But people always used to tell me how wonderful and romantic it is to be a cowboy. I always think to myself, they never did really experience the real thing. We have a helipad here that we can land any kind of weather because it's heated, and that was our banking friend that's helping us with this, a very extensive evaluation of the potential realtors and so on, and Hayden came out at the top.
Dax came to the ranch with some of his associates. We were very impressed by the professional approach and inspired a lot of confidence.
We continue to be very impressed with Dax and the entire staff. I mean, we don't think we could be in better hands anywhere.
I'm Dax Hayden here at the Bighorn Ranch in Wyoming. This high country ranch is about 7,000 acres and protects a lot of country from BLM to Forest Service with canyons and water and improvements, elk, good cattle ranch. It's a pretty amazing place. David and Paula Flintner have been gracious enough to trust us with marketing of this property. They're over a 100-year family here in the area. This ranch is impeccably done. They've got outstanding improvements. They have an amazing wildlife and livestock management program here at the ranch, and they just do a tremendous job with everything they touch. David has developed a water system on the property like none I've ever seen, through a pipeline system and a spring, and overall quality oozes out of this place. With the outfitter program they've had set up, they've been able to have some good income from the outfitting and still manage the quality of animals. The grazing on the property is excellent. It is a high country ranch, so it's got a limited season, but it is absolutely gorgeous.
You can see as far as the Rockies, all the way to the Rockies. They come out as clear as a bell. Yes, I'm gonna miss it, yes, I am gonna miss it. But you know, we get older and there comes a day that you say, well, someone else should enjoy it full-time or part-time the way we did. We had lots of wonderful times here, where we had parties, family gatherings. It was great.
For more information on how to feature your property on LandLeader TV, please visit LandLeader.com. Use the hashtag #PoweredByLandLeader to be entered to win our prize.